Hi, this is Athena StarSeed, and I am here at the Mystic Journey Art Gallery, and this is in Venice, California, and I'm a reader here. I'm an intuitive reader, and today I'm really talking about parallel realities. What is a parallel reality? A parallel reality, in its concept, really means that there are multiple realities simultaneously existing. And so I wanted to use an analogy of a parallel reality. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the analogy of tarot cards. See all those tarot cards? Imagine that you could just jump into one of those cards. They're all simultaneously existing on the table, which we're just going to call that the universe. And these are all different types of dimensions. And you can jump into any of these dimensions based on your imagination and your frequency, your resonation. So here you say, okay, well, which reality do I want to jump into? Well, there's a reality where you're wealthy and you're successful and you're in love and you have an incredible family and you are doing your life's purpose. So that's what I want to focus on. Which one of these cards do you want to jump into and collapse on that reality? So as you're lifing your life, surfing your life, experiencing your life, you have little tiny I'm going to say roads that fork off and go into another dimension and fork off and go into another dimension. And when you decide to jump into a reality, every second becomes a different dimension. There's this second, and then there's this second, and then there's this second, and then there's this second. So, okay, now let's just imagine I turn over all of these cards, okay? And then let's say that you looked at all the cards and you were like, oh, which reality do I see myself materializing in? And I'm going to give you a very good example of this. Okay, see these cards? Look at all these different realities. Now, let's say I was going to decide to jump into this reality. Now, let's imagine that this reality is a moving picture. An entire universe is in there, and I'm in there, and I am celebrating my ability to be an alchemist and to change my life and to change my frequency and go from lead into gold and purify my own soul by purifying each chakra so that the decisions that I make increase my oscillation so that when I see all of these potential realities that I jump in to the highest version of myself. So what do I want to say about that? I want to say, I'll give you a really good example. So I was 23 years old. I had just got to Los Angeles, California, and I went to Universal Studios. And I sat in the audience and I was watching the Wild Wild West stunt show. And immediately a little window popped open, like one of these. And I saw myself jumping off of the buildings and whipping cowboys and shooting pistols and running around and saying all these lines like, Annie, get your gun. And what I realized was if I could see myself doing that, if I could imagine myself doing it, if I could feel the excitement of having that job already, that was possible, a possible lifestyle for me. So I was feeling that. I left really excited. I met the stunt people. And a year later, the auditions came around. Now, keep in mind, I had no experience being a stunt person at all. But when the auditions came up, I was like, you know what? I saw myself in that reality. So what I decided to do was audition and have 200 people because I had run that visualization of that reality in my head again and again and again. I got the job. And so it went from me sitting in the audience to sitting in my mind, my mage, my magician, my imaging. This is your imaging center, into being in the show. And that was a great time in my life. I used to get to do 2 shows a day, $50 a show. And after that, I got to go and sign autographs and hang out with people. And there'd be like 1,000 people in the audience. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm 23 years old and I already have fans and an audience and I'm giving out autographs. I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. But how did I do it? What was I imaging? What were all the potential outcomes that could have happened? Another reality could have been, I could have sat in the audience and I could have said, that'll never happen. I don't have stunt experience. Then the audition could have come by. Oh, I can't do that because I don't have stunt experience. And then it wouldn't have happened. However, your soul gives you all the information that you need about where you should probably start imaging your focus. And that's really what this is about taking your focus and collapsing on a potential reality. So, what are you focusing on today? What do you really want? Sit down and write out 3 things today, okay? 3 things that you really would love to create in your reality. And then imagine that they're tarot cards. And then imagine yourself jumping into one of the tarot cards. Okay, let's say like this. This is like the Hanged Man. Imagine yourself seeing your life upside down, inside out, and all the wisdom that you get from focusing on the inner you. Being able to take your intuition and then projecting it through your third eye out onto this screen. Because basically, unless there's an observer, there's nothing really happening. This is like an infinite white void. And I will share one more story. I went to Bali and I fasted in 2009 for like 9 days. And I wasn't eating, I was just drinking. And the whole universe turned white, like a white canvas. There was nothing there. And so I want you to realize, behind any of these projected images that we sometimes fall into because of default from our subconscious mind or our superconscious mind, our soul kind of will lead us around, that this is what we get, this is what we live in every day, this is our life. All of these wonderful little mini movies, our mini movies creating our reality. Because until we decide to feel a certain vibration, there's nothing out there. Everything out there is actually in here. And so that's one of the Hermetic laws. As within, so without. As above, so below. So I want you guys to start playing with the different dimensions that you can jump into and the parallel universes. So just imagine yourself right now living in at least 10 universes simultaneously. One, you're a superhero. The other one, you're an avatar. The other one, you're a healer. Maybe the other one, you're a rock star. Maybe the other one, you are a stunt man or a stunt woman. Or the other one, you're a Nobel Prize winner. Or the other one, you're a peacemaker or a way shower. Or the other one, you're running an entire planet and you're helping all the beings on that planet be liberated, happy, and free. So use that imagination as your magic wand and create the dimension that you feel is worth mentioning. This is the Athena StarSeed series called Ask Athena. Stay tuned.